Hi guys, it's Blackie for Shaman's Forge Bushcraft. Well, it finally happened. Those of you that have followed my channel for a while remember a couple of years ago I did a series on axes. And I talked about the hatchet, the axe, etc. And I showed this, my original Norland camp axe. I'll give you a close-up. Now this was originally purchased back in the 60s or 70s by a dear friend of mine. You see the Norland on it. And he passed it on to me as a surprise gift. And it's been a treasured friend and a very good woods companion. And probably 15 years ago, on a canoe trip, we were 2 days into a 5-day trip. Someone that was with me at that time was trying to split wood and they missed. And that's that damage you see right there. And it cracked it. Well, under a tarp with it raining and a pocket knife, I whittled the handle back down and put it back in there and made it work. And I said I would fix it. And just because a man says he's going to do it, he's going to do it. No need to remind him every 6 months. That was probably 15, 16 years ago. Might even be more. But finally, now with the wood checking and cracking from age and etc., even though I've taken care of it, it's finally given up to the point that... So, with a lot of sadness, I guess you'd call it, I knew it was time to rework it. The head's a little bit battered from hard use. She's a little too blunt where she's wore off the edge. She needs to be resurfaced, reworked from the ground up, and that was going to be the focus of this video. And so I got online and I started looking for a handle. See how gracile that handle is. And I found a handle from a company in Tennessee and I ordered it, and the handle came in. And the minute I picked it up, I knew, this was way out, wrong handle. So I went back and went researching, and I found the correct type of handle that I want for this axe, and so I sent in for it. Meantime, I'm sitting here looking at this handle. And then you know that piece of gear you got way back and that you don't think about anymore? Yeah, I've got a bunch of that. I happened to think about the fact that there was an axe that I'd been meaning to rework, that I'd picked it up God knows how many years ago as military surplus. It was an axe that was made in Sweden. That's all I knew about it. And it had this big handle on it. And it's a felling axe. You can see by looking at how thick this handle is, and I hope the light catches it, it swirls all the way. So this was turned on a lathe and never smoothed out. It was painted red, so the time I picked it up, it had a surplus thing. It had a loose head on it because the wedge had come out, but it had this metal bar that locked the head in place, and they wanted $5 for it. Okay. So I spent the $5 and got it, brought it home, stuck it in the back of the work shed, and have never gone back to it. I've probably used it once or twice pulling out for grubbing. You know, got to cut a root or something where I didn't want to use my Norland or my actual good double bit axe I've got. That's my preferred felling axe, is a double bit that I have. So this big maw handle thing became the dirty axe. You know, when you gotta cut that heavy root or whatever, I didn't even bother putting the wedge in it. It held the head on okay. So, as I was sitting here looking at this handle that was wrong for that, I began to think it was probably right for this. So I pulled out that axe, I cleaned the paint off of it, I took off the handle. Now let me insert a piece of former video here that when I was going to start to shoot this. Here's that piece of video. Now, okay, here's the handle that I'm looking to replace it with. And this is made by the Beaver Tooth Genuine Hickory Handle Company out of Tennessee. My idea is, see if I can get the balance up there, is to do that and turn it into a short handle forest axe, very heavy handle, very heavy head. See how that handle was way too big for that Norland axe, but it would fit this one. And like I said, when I cleaned it up, I was rather shocked at what I was looking at. Now let me say right here, this is a dangerous axe. Why do I say that? This is a 4.5 pound felling head. And I'll get you a closey right quick. This is a Granford Brooks, right there, GBA, made in Sweden. I guess an antique. It doesn't have the flares down here that I see on the ones today. Felling axe, and I put it onto a short handle. Now that thing fits my armpit just fine. The axe handle fits it fine. I've stained it dark and then put several coats of tung oil into it. Sealed it up, perfect head fit, everything's good to go. But why do I say this is dangerous? This 4.5 pound head is so heavy and there's so much power in it. You needed a long handle so that if you missed, it would hit the ground. Like this. This is a fantastic splitting axe for camp duty. This would be great getting in there tight for limbing. It'd just shear right through it. If you miss, there's so much power and torque in this, you're not going to stop it. It's going to come back and hit you. I will be using this axe because I understand it and I respect it and I know what it can do. It takes a very fine edge. And so, one axe has led to the discovery of another axe. I would not have picked a 4.5 pound head for something this small. A 2.5 pound head would have been my choice. But since I had this 4.5 pound head, and it says, you can barely see it, I don't know if you can see it on it or not, up underneath here, right here it says 4 1/2. It chops. That's an understatement. I now have got to make a good beard to go into it, a good axe cover. And this one will be going for splitting duties, cutting duties, etc. Shelter building, there you go. But this is not an axe that's going to be used lightly or without thinking about it, because being so heavy, so much power in this head, if you miss, it's probably going to be bad. It's going to hit a shin bone, or if it glances or whatever. So this axe has to be controlled very carefully to utilize. The power is there. Now the hard part, controlling that power. As soon as I get the other axe handle in, guys, I'll have you another update video. I'm Blackie for Shaman's Forge WOODSCRAFT, wishing you safe journeys. Have a great day, guys.